Hi, this is Jeff from TournamentBowl.com, and this is a video that's going to show you how you can set up your brackets for your league play on TournamentBowl.com. First thing you want to do is go to Tournament Bowl and then log in. And if you don't have a password, that's okay. Just give me an email at jeff@tournamentbowl.com. I'll be happy to set you up and make sure that you're getting things set up right. So you log in, and here we are. And the most important first thing that you can understand is that this is tournament software, not league software. We're going to make it work, but we're going to have to play some tricks. And so that's what this video is about. So we're going to create a tournament, which is really our league. Give it a name and director. Mount Baker Classic is the name of the league, and I'm automatically the tournament director. You don't need to add a second one if you don't want to. You can. And then navigate to your bowling center. Now, obviously, every bowling center in the world isn't on this list. If yours isn't there, just click here, and you can add your bowling center to the library. Ours happen at Mount Baker Lanes in Ferndale, Washington. Save this step, and now our league, which is really a tournament, is created. The next step is to choose the events. Now, these events are like the tournament competition, and they're not going to count for anything. So I usually put something here that indicate to the bowlers that there's no point looking at these standings because they are meaningless. It's the brackets that we want to hold. However, if we make them four-man teams, it'll group our bowlers together, and that'll save us some time. Need to put a number there for the entry fee. We don't want bowlers to enter into our tournament. Team names are handy to have. I would select yes for that. The rest of this you can leave. Now, you can make it handicap if you want, but since the standings don't matter, it doesn't really matter, and Scratch saves us a little bit of time because Tournament Bowl isn't crunching through handicaps then. And make the event. Oops, number of games. We bowl 3 games. I bet you do too. There we go. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is set up the squads. Each week of bowling will be a squad. So my league starts at 7:30, and you need to check here because that shows what events are happening during this squad, and you need to have at least one event. So make sure you have that box checked, or else it won't work. And there we go. Now our squads will just line up one line per squad. Right now we just have one the first week. If you want to make documents available to your bowlers, you can click on step 6. This is where you can upload rules, or if you want to make a flyer or give some explanation on how the brackets are going to work. There's also a link on YouTube that will show how to see your brackets on Tournament Bowl. You could upload that link right here, and your bowlers could watch a little video to see how, so they can see how to see their brackets. Okay, but the next thing we really need to do now is enter our teams and enter all of our bowlers. There's a couple ways to do that, but the easiest is probably right there at squads and check in. And we're going to enter into our meaningless standings right there. And now's when we're put in our team. The first team in my league, let's just take a second because my names are already in there because these people are in the Tournament Bowl library already. Yours might not be. So you have to type the USBC number and then type your last name and the first name. But then from then on, anytime any tournament director enters this USBC number, the appropriate name will show up. So when you put in a name together with a USBC number, you are building the TournamentBowl.com library, which is everybody benefits from that. I can put in the team name right here. I think I'm just going to call them Team 1 right now. They haven't got their sponsor just yet. You can ignore lane numbers. It'll default to 0 and 1, and that's fine. It doesn't matter whether you put them paid. So you just kind of rifle through all of these. And if you don't know their USBC numbers, it's awfully nice for future directors if you include it, look it up on bowl.com and include it. But if you're in a hurry and you just don't want to or whatever, it's okay. We'll understand. Just leave it blank, and Tournament Bowl is going to make up a number that will sure to be unique. The important thing is that it's not the same as another bowler in the library. That's obviously going to cause confusion. So don't make up some thing to put here. Just leave it blank, and Tournament Bowl will take care of it for you. Okay, so then we click save. And we've got one team, and we're ready to put in another one. I'm going to show you, do one more, and then I'm going to press pause, and I'll just put the other ones in. You don't have to wait for that. this will be team 2. For reasons you'll see later in the video, it's handy if you include the team number in the team name. So maybe I'll put this 1 and then I'll put a dash and then I'll put their sponsor name or something like that in there. You'll see when it's time to look at the USBC scheduling for lane assignments that it's nice to have the team number there. Okay, so now I've got 2 teams in there, and we've got a nice little 10-team league. It might be more than that by the time we get a few more teams in. So I'm going to press pause right now, and then come back, and all of this will be filled in, and I'll show you how to go from there. And now I'm back, and I've entered all of my teams, and now I'm ready to assign lanes. So I'll go to Squads, and assign lane assignments by team. And this is where I'm going to get the league schedule out and find out just the USBC schedule where everybody is, although I can pretty much predict how the first week's going to go. Everybody just bowls on their lane number, on their team number on the first lane, or the first game, first week. And those are done. And now it's time to assign the brackets, to make the brackets. So go to Squads, and then brackets for this squad, and I make a new division of brackets. We have $5 brackets, and this is how we pay out. I don't know how your league does. And these are scratch, but you could set up handicap instead if you want. And it's okay just to make one bracket to begin with. You'll know how many brackets you've got once you sell your spots. And now you're pretty much set and ready to go to the bowling alley. Everything's ready to go. Bracket roster, that's where you're going to put in the numbers of brackets that everybody got into. What I do is I take that, and then I print this thing out. And I bring it with me, and then I can just write on it, and that's where I carry all of my, take all my notes and things like that, and then I sit down at the computer at the bowling center, and I put in all of the numbers. So let's just say, just so we can finish it off here, let's put in some numbers. 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1. We'll go ahead and run through the whole scenario and save entries. And it's going to tell us now we sold 22 spots out of 8. Well, 22 is not a very good number. I really wish I had 24. So maybe I go back and I sell 2 more. You know, I talk these guys into doing 1 more, or somebody into getting 3 or something like that. Or I could click right here and fix it. I could do 3 brackets and have 2 buys. If I click that, it's going to put a buy bowler in and make 2 spots. But I think what I would do is I would go and I would find my buddy who only got into 1 and say, how about you get into 3? And he would say, okay. And now when I save entries, 24, that's a better number. So now when I click to fix it, 3 full brackets, no buys, no refunds. Okay, let's make that happen. Done. Now I can go back to bracket roster. It's green. That means it's ready to fill. I have 3 brackets. Here they are right here. If I click fill, my brackets are ready to go. I'm ready to input scores. When it's time to put in scores, enter scores for brackets is right there. And that's a display that only shows bowlers that are in brackets. So first game, I just got to put those scores in. Everything else will calculate just fine. In the second game, some of these will be grayed out because they've been eliminated. So you only have to put in the scores that show up there. You don't have to worry about the rest of them. You can if you want. Bowlers can see this. Here's a list of all their brackets. And if I am John Baker, I click on my name, and I can see that I'm lined up against Antoine Dudley and Jeff Koval on lane 6 and lane 9, so I can keep track of them. And you can see the whole bracket here too, if you care to do that. Okay, so let's talk about the next week then, because you don't want to be typing in all of those names every single time. So when it's time to make your second week, that's going to be your second squad, you don't want to have to go here and type in all of your teams again like you did the first week. So what you do is once you make the squad, you edit the squad And you're going to get this opportunity right here to populate this squad with the entries of a different squad. Yeah, with these entries. So you click it. Select a squad to duplicate. We want to duplicate that one. And so it's going to take these teams and copy them exactly into this squad. And it's done. So this is exactly like this. I'll still have to change the lane numbers, but that won't take me a minute. You can see that everything's just right there. When I go to brackets, I'll still have to make my brackets, but when I go to bracket roster, all those names will be there. So that's how you do brackets for your league. There's some other ways too that don't require the setup, but then you have to type in names every single week, and that's what you would have to do on other software probably. So I find that this way is pretty efficient. My guys like it, and I find that it's a pretty easy way to do it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Don't hesitate, and have fun.